Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. Today our topic is real estate, and in real estate we are going to discuss about what to look for when checking for Airbnb, or rather what to check for any client when sourcing for any kind of Airbnb kind of a house. Number one, affordability. That is, can you afford it? Remember that all kind of Airbnb kind of houses, depending on the kind of location, have different kind of rentals. For example, basing my example on a house, for example, in Kileleshwa, for a 2-bedroom kind of a house, going for 80,000 shillings. Remember, also, at a particular kind of 2-bedroom kind of a house, in the same kind of region or other location, they could also be going for 120 when they are still kind of a 2-bedroom kind of a house. So, it is important to make sure that the kind of a rental that has been listed, you should be in a position to afford, so that you avoid running into trouble with the landlord by the end of the month when you are unable to afford that kind of a rental, thereby making your stay very uncomfortable when you are far away from home. Number two, what are the reviews? It is important for any particular kind of a guest to check at the reviews of the particular kind of a house that they choose when, or rather the kind of a house when choosing for Airbnb kind of a house. That is because reviews, either positive or negative, can cause you as a kind of a client either to reject that particular kind of a house or to do booking for that particular kind of a house. That is, for example, taking an example of a kind of a house, for example, in Kilimani, and having a kind of a previous kind of a client during at that particular type of a time when you are looking for kind of a house, like kind of a reviews. By checking at that kind of a review, if it is negative, for example, you'll have to put it a red kind of a flag. If it is it has meant kind of a positive review, it means that the host of that particular kind of an apartment is a good kind of a host, and you can work together and you'll have no problem when you are having your stay far away from home. So to make sure that you are comfortable when you are far away from home at any particular time, it is important to make sure that you check on the location for that particular kind of an apartment that you are looking for, and make sure that you don't forget to check out the reviews, because reviews direct you when choosing that particular kind of a house. Again, number three, amenities. It is important again for any particular kind of a client to make sure that when they are looking at any particular kind of Airbnb, they check on the amenities that are available. For example, maybe you are kind of a diaspora kind of a client and you are looking for a house that has AC, it has Wi-Fi, it has parking, and it has all the kind of things that you are looking for. It is important because already any kind of a house should have the kind of amenities that should be able to meet your kind of expectation. That is because you would want to avoid any kind of problem when you are coming to check in this particular kind of a house and you find that the kind of amenities that you are looking for, they are not provided. And you know, if you have not checked the kind of amenities on the description of this host, you cannot blame the host, because the host, for example, he or she would tell you that everything that my house entailed, it is already in the description, meaning that you as the guest, if you have not checked on the description, it will be your fault but not the fault of the host. So to avoid that kind of a problem, it is important for any particular kind of a guest to make sure they go slowly by slowly when checking on the description, to make sure any particular kind of amenities on the description fit their kind of stay when they are occupying that particular kind of a house. For example, if you are looking for a house that is all ensuite, make sure that that particular kind of a host is providing all ensuite. If you are kind of a person who is working online, or maybe, for example, you have this kind of toddlers, you know them, they love watching cartoons. If you are looking for a kind of a house, or kind of Airbnb kind of a house, make sure that, and you are looking for Wi-Fi, make sure that it has that particular kind of Wi-Fi and or any other kind of amenities that your family would have to have when they are occupying that particular kind of a house when they are far away from home. Again, it is important to check on limitation. What do we mean by limitation? For example, you could check on the description what kind of limitation does that particular kind of a host have. Do they allow pets, for example? Are there loud noises, for example, allowed? And for example, in that kind of a scenario, what do they not expect? Do they love you as a kind of a visitor or a guest, having many guests in the house? It is important to check that particular kind of guideline, because you'll also avoid running into trouble with your particular kind of a host. This is because if you don't check that, by the time you check in and you start, maybe you are sorry kind of a client and you have come with a pet, what happens? You'll find that the pets are not allowed. So how do you take your pets? Already you are in trouble when you have just checked in. And remember, this particular example, taking an example on diaspora kind of a client, has traveled so many miles with a pet. And then when they arrive, they are unable to stay with their pet. Already, that's already a big problem, because now you will start maybe looking elsewhere to stay as you are trying to look for that particular kind of a house. And of course, do you want to go through that? Of course, no. So it is very important for any particular kind of a guest, they make sure that they check on the limitation of any R&B kind of a house before they check in. And again, if you are a kind of a person that would love to have many guests, how many guests allowed in that particular kind of R&B kind of a house? It is important that you check on that so that you don't go bringing parties there or bringing more than 10 people, and maybe that particular kind of a house only allows for 3 kind of guests. Already you'll be running again into trouble into your host. And you know what? When it becomes too much, anytime your host can also think of terminating even before your stay has come to an end. Reason? Because you are going against the guidelines of his R&B kind of a house. So to make your kind of a stay far away from home, it is important to put into mind all these kind of guidelines when you are checking for any particular kind of R&B, so that you don't have any problem, but rather you would enjoy your stay far away from home at any particular time, and you will be a happy guest. And you know what? If you are a happy guest, also the host will be a happy host. Thereby, the saying, a happy host, a happy guest. And it's that for today. Till next time, have yourself a blessed day. Bye-bye.